SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C-Spire. Power your home or business with C-Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C-Spire. C-Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Man, do we have a busy show for you. Welcome in Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey, Brian Hadad, as we always are. We've got Cole Kubelik coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We've got As the Portal Turns. And an interesting one today. State got a big commitment on the lines of scrimmage. Ole Miss got a pair of offensive commitments after the show last night, and a busy visitor weekend upcoming. Also, TJ Dottery, talked about him a little bit yesterday, unsurprisingly hits the transfer portal, and we will talk about that. Ole Miss basketball, buzzer beater last night at overtime over Georgia. The Rebels have a little bit of life injected into that program, and now you've got a very fascinating game coming up in Starkville on Saturday. We'll talk about that more tomorrow, but still, we got reaction to that. You've got a scandal in college basketball that unfortunately does feature a Mississippi program. We will talk about all that and somehow even more with you on this Thursday. So glad you're here. Welcome in.
It's good to have you here. We enjoy you being here with us in the Pearl River Resort studios. Pearl River Resort is the place to have your next great time, your great weekend, your great getaway. When you're wanting to have fun, the place to go is Pearl River Resort because they've got the recipe for fun, whatever your definition of it is. C-Spire text line is open to you at 601-879-4395. Looking for game-changing technology? Then you need C-Spire on your team. 5G wireless, fiber home internet, and business IT solutions built as tough as your defense. Learn more at cspire.com. C-Spire, inspired by you.
Inspired by you. So more people, it's a similar scandal. More people have been arrested, though, in the college basketball point shaving stat manipulation, stuff like that. That's the big quote-unquote sports news of the day nationally. But let's start with the win for Ole Miss last night. Here's what it sounded like. Tom Hart on the call. Game tied at 95, 6 seconds left in overtime. A.J. Storr with the basketball.
Jiffa to Storr. Storr with 3 to shoot. Turnaround, jumper, no good. Rebound, follow, yes! What a foul! Ole Miss with the win on Pat Pinkins' tip.
Really fun finish after, you could hear he and Dane reacting in real time to Kentucky's win. They had a buzzer beater to beat LSU, and oh my gosh, if that ball does not go in, the Wildcats are in a bad way. But Ole Miss gets the win, 97-95 in overtime over Georgia. A.J. Storr off the bench was awesome last night. I say off the bench, he is. You know how one of your best players just comes off the bench even though you expect a lot out of the player? That's one of those situations. He's not like a bench guy that had a big night. He's one of the main guys that came off the bench last night. Either way, doesn't matter. 27 points on 11 of 22 shooting, including a pair of threes, 8 rebounds, 3 steals, and 4 assists. Just a complete game from A.J. Storr. And now you see why a program like Kansas didn't want to quit on him. You know, you're seeing why there's been so much potential and just for whatever reason hasn't been able to consistently put it together. Last night, you see why he was so highly thought after in a game like that last night. Patton Pinkins, though, the hero, was 7-9 from the field, the true freshman from Murfreesboro. His dad is on the staff there at Ole Miss. He shoots the basketball so confidently, and he did so last night. But you got really good performances from like Travis Perry off the bench, 4 of 7 from 3. That's what you signed him to be, as a sniper, and he did snipe last night. Carmodine, I thought, had a good game. He only has 13 points on the box score, but he was 5 of 9 and a assist-to-turnover ratio of 6-0. So 6 assists and did not turn over the basketball last night from the point guard spot. And then Corey Chest, only 6 points. So if you look at his point, you're like, he didn't have a great game. No, he did. In 33 minutes, had 9 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a steal. And he was huge because that is a Georgia team that, as we talked about yesterday, size, physicality. I think they averaged 9 blocks per game, something like that as a team. They only out-rebounded Ole Miss by 5 in the game, right? 37-42. That's 5, right? I'm not a math guy, but I think that's 5.
That is 5.
And Georgia, with their size, only had 1 block in the game. So Corey Chest's 33 minutes were massive for that team. And look, what does this win mean? It means nothing if they don't continue to stack wins. But it started a little bit in the Arkansas game. They get that home win over Missouri. They win in overtime last night. You're getting more confidence from Storr. Perry starting to hit shots. Pinkins is playing a lot, and he should. He's able to score. Corey Chest is doing a lot on the block for them right now. You're starting to see why people like me going into the season thought that this team had real potential. They've got to put a lot together. There's still a lot of making up for the non-conference that they have to do if they want to start playing truly meaningful basketball games. But you saw it in Missouri, and you saw it last night. What plagued them in the non-conference was they couldn't close. They had, in a handful of their losses, they had a chance late and just couldn't close, and they closed last night. So jumped up 15 points in the net. And, again, a lot of work to do. They're still in the 80s. But now you're starting to see the team come together a little bit. And if nothing else, they provided a fun win for fans that are coming off the high of the football season.
And I will say this, though, not to bring you down, I'm sorry, but, State started off 2-0 in conference play, and I said something similar to what you just said about, they could find, this game Saturday will play a large role in determining who actually has some sort of a semblance of hope to make it to the postseason and who is just playing out the string for either team. But it's an interesting dichotomy. State starts off 2-0, then they have back-to-back really bad losses. Ole Miss starts out 2-0. I wouldn't say either one of their losses were necessarily super bad. Oklahoma's not a good team, but
it was on the road too, so that won't hurt.
These are, but they come back and get a couple of wins. So. Something's got to give Saturday between these two teams. As we sit here today, and you know this because we talked earlier for an interview for Thunder and Lightning, I don't really have a good feel for my prediction on this one. But
I don't either.
Weird night, by the way. 3 buzzer beaters in college basketball tonight. I know of 3. There were the ones you mentioned, and then SMU had a 50-footer.
Yeah, that was wild.
Just over half court. For that. The LSU one, I actually caught that live because I had been keeping up and I saw that they were down 1 with a second to go. And I was like, let's just flip over and take a look, and got to watch that. Just LSU. McMahon, he'll be the first casualty.
That's a killer, yeah.
Yeah, he's done.
That SMU game, Virginia Tech has 3 conference losses. Mm-hmm. All of them are at the buzzer or within a second or 2 from the buzzer. I mean,
kind of tough.
Those poor guys.
You got James Franklin. This is the price you have to pay. The science works for a lot of people.
But yeah, I mean, you're right. Look, they dug themselves in such a hole in the non-conference, losing 5 non-conference games. One of them is quad 3. They have a quad 3 loss on their resume. There's very, very little room for error. They don't have to win all of their remaining games, but if they want to get interesting, I mean, they got to win 10 of them, probably.
Yeah, easily.
They got to go 10-6. No, it's 18 conference games, right?
10-8.
No, yeah. But I mean down the stretch.
Yes, they would have to go 8-6. There's 14 games left.
Yeah, I see. I think they have to get to 12 conference games. That's kind of the magic number that I'm.
If they got to win 12, then yeah, they would have to go
10-4.
10-4 the rest of the way. That's tough. That's tough.
That's a lot to ask,
yeah.
And seemingly unlikely. But, they have found something. And I think Chris Beard, after the Missouri game, mentioned Arkansas, where he thought, maybe that team's, figured something out a little bit there. So we'll see. It's, as Hadad said, we'll talk more about it tomorrow, but Saturday's game becomes incredibly fascinating because there's a lot of volatility in this. From the Ole Miss perspective, it's, you got to keep winning if you want to play interesting games. Chris Beard has not had great success against Chris Jans in this rivalry. A loss doesn't kill you, but if there's only so many that you can have, and this is I think it's fair to say this is a beatable Mississippi State team.
That is very fair, yes.
And on the flip side for State, it's very similar.
Very
the volatility, beatable Ole Miss team, et cetera, et cetera.
I can't wait to see what the line is. I mean, if you made me guess, State might be favored by like 1.5 at most. But Ole Miss could be favored. They've won 2 in a row. We'll see.
We will see. Just getting started with you, Sports Talk Mississippi, on this Thursday. We'll keep talking, basketball, transfer portal, so on and so forth throughout the show. Glad you're here.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
It's go time.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Well, say something.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Ole Miss gets that big win over, fun win anyway. It remains to be seen whether or not that's actually big. We will find out as early as Saturday if that win is big or not. Across the league, Vanderbilt suffered their first loss. They got dominated by Texas in Austin, 80-64. Down go the Commodores for the first time this year. South Carolina stinks out loud. Arkansas beat them 108-74. Arkansas scored 108 points in 40 minutes. Ugh.
South Carolina, not good. And that's going to be
It's just a bad program.
It is, yeah. It's funny, like the first year, what's the name of the coach? I can't remember his name. Lamont Paris, right?
Mm-hmm.
First year there, they were awful. Second year, they were actually pretty good. They made the tournament. But down these last 2 years, terrible. And it's the inverse of the Missouri guy.
Yeah.
The Missouri guy, first year they were pretty good. Second year they went 0-18. Last year they were really good. So we'll see. Dennis Gates, that's who I was thinking of.
I do wonder if because they so heavily invest in the women's side, and they heavily invest in the women's side, if that adversely affects the other. If there's just not enough money to go around for 2 basketball teams to be invested like that.
And there might be a perception thing of like you're a men's basketball player in South Carolina, you're the second favorite team on campus as far as hoops go. So
that's tough.
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, South Carolina, they went to a Final Four under Frank Martin, and Dave Odom was a pretty consistent winner there.
But that was Martin's only tournament appearance at South Carolina.
I know, it's crazy. Like he went big or went home.
Did a lot of going home, although I know people like him and think he's a good coach.
He's a good coach, yeah. I think he is.
Missouri beat Auburn by 10, 84-74. Auburn 10-7, 1-3 in the SEC. Stephen Pearl, remember, got a 6-year contract. John Cohen committed to the son of his former head coach. And part of me wonders if he goes to the office every day thinking, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
I mean, who could have seen this coming, right? That Auburn, they clearly weren't going to be as good as they were last year. They lost Broom, and they lost everybody's favorite Chad Baker-Mazara. But then you lose Bruce Pearl. They were always going to take a step back, and then I feel like they complicated it by making a first-time head coach their coach.
Who was his son.
Yeah, it's his son. So, I just don't know. Like, Auburn is a game that when we're talking about Mississippi State and Ole Miss, that's a winnable game for both teams.
You changed the thought of that game.
Yeah. Last year, they were at this point, they were undefeated, right?
You had to go to Auburn, you're like, just pray nobody gets hurt.
Yeah. Last year, they had one loss at this point. They had lost at Duke. That was it.
Somebody says, how does John Cohen still have a job? How does Ross Bjork still have a job? Although Ohio State fans are done with old Mr. Ross Bjork. They are ready. They're ready for change up there. I saw one Ohio State media guy say, Ole Miss fans celebrated when he left. Texas A&M fans celebrated when he left. And Ohio State thought, ... Yeah. Sometimes. And then finally, Kentucky gets a needed win at the buzzer at the PMAC, and that is a killer for LSU. And man, it would have been really uncomfortable had Kentucky lost that game.
One team or the other was going to be uncomfortable, and LSU is the only winless team, I believe, in the conference, right? Or South Carolina have a win?
South Carolina, they do have a win. Who'd they beat?
Not sure.
Was it
LSU?
A forfeit of some kind?
Was it LSU?
It was at LSU, yes.
There you go. So yeah, LSU, the only winning team. I go back to this a lot when, it was 4 years ago when State and LSU and Florida were all looking for coaches, right? And you knew that the trio of Jans, Golden, McMahon were going to be those guys, but just where did they end up? Obviously, Florida did very well. Jet Golden has won a national title. Jans, this year aside, 3 straight NCAA tournament appearances. LSU hasn't sniffed the tournament under Matt McMahon.
Nope.
And he will be on the chopping block sooner rather than later.
All right, let's turn the page to football. We'll save the transfer portal, the rest of the transfer portal conversation for as the portal turns for the college football fix.
That's more about who's coming in. Than
who's
going out. Yeah.
We talked about this a good bit yesterday, but now we know that Ole Miss linebacker TJ Daugherty has entered the transfer portal. After our conversation yesterday, I don't think you should be particularly surprised by that. Apparently, he's visiting LSU today, which is just hilarious because he was as vocal anti-Kiffin, both privately and otherwise, as a player could possibly have been. I mean, there's, I think, confirmed rumors that he was confrontational with Lane Kiffin at practice about LSU and the way he was conducting himself. And now he's visiting LSU. Money can mend a lot of fences. Quite literally, money can buy you a brand new fence.
Correct.
So what does it mean? Two things. Ole Miss needs linebackers. They've got some visiting and some good linebacker prospects apparently visiting, and if you can get them, then great. You guys know me. I value continuity. I think that when it's somebody that had played every snap in almost every game for you, it's important to try to keep those people around. Is he the best linebacker in the world? He's not. Should he play 90 snaps a game? No. But a guy like him at 45 snaps a game can help you. Just not 90. And that's what he was asked to do this past season. I don't think he's as bad as the portal rankings, which ranked him as the 94th best linebacker in the transfer portal. That's what On3 ranked him as. I don't think
he's... and Chris Jones, I mean, those are two really good linebackers that feel like they are completely underrated by these sites.
Yeah, On3 had him as the number 94 linebacker in the portal. So not many people think highly of him from that perspective, I suppose. If all things were equal, right, if it was just you want that player, you don't want that player, you want TJ Daugherty back. You want, even though I guess this Baylor guy they expect to be the green dot next year anyway, doesn't matter. He knows the defense very well. All their continuity and familiarity is important in the portal era. Mm-hmm. If the rumored offers from other schools are accurate, thank you for your service, young man. Good luck. I mean, you can get two linebackers that are ranked better than 94th for the price of what he is apparently telling Ole Miss he is being offered from other schools. You cannot overpay everybody. I saw somebody on Twitter say, just pay him. No, you just pay him with Kejuan Lacey. You just pay Kejuan Lacey, whatever it takes to get him to come back. You just pay him with a quality quarterback, right? If Kamario Taylor would have been like, hey, guys, I'm getting offered this from somewhere, you know what Mississippi State's response is? I've got it here.
Yeah.
You need what? Okay, I got you. There are certain players that you spend whatever. But if you're talking about approaching 7 figures, getting close to that anyway, for one linebacker, that is not All-American, All-SEC caliber, you have to at some point let players that you want to keep walk because the money's not right. Ole Miss has a lot of money. They don't have unlimited money, and you got to be smart with it sometimes. And look, if LSU or whoever is going to give them a few $100,000 more than you were going to give him, again, thank you for your service, young man. Good luck. You have to make those difficult decisions sometimes. You can't overpay everybody. You already had to do it on an offensive lineman that you wanted to keep. You've already had to do it on a running back. You had to do it with a wide receiver that everybody wanted to keep him out of the portal. I mean, what do you think Eccles and Franklin are costing, and Centarian Perkins? And there's so many guys that you have to really pay whatever to keep. A few $100,000 increase ain't worth it with this particular player. It's a loss, but if that is true, you can't. You just can't financially.
Well, then so be it. He will have to move on.
And
how many players on the Ole Miss roster have that you just got to pay them label? Trinidad, Kewan, Centarian. Is that it?
Eccles.
Cam Franklin?
Man, back half of the season, Franklin played like one of those guys, and they locked him up.
Yeah. Is Sanders one of them just because of his role? But I mean, I would have thought Daughtery was too.
Sanders took, I know this for an absolute fact, Sanders took less money to stay. He just wanted to stay. He could have leveraged the portal and gotten more. He wanted to stay where he was. One of the rare guys in college football that's like, I love my school. Pay me, but you don't have to worry about me going anywhere. Pay me kind of guy. Mm-hmm. Also, he's getting shoulder surgery this offseason. He played with both shoulders injured. I think one, though, is getting surgically repaired this offseason. But yeah, there's a handful of those guys. I mean, you didn't want Deuce Alexander going anywhere, and he had a lot of interest around the SEC. You had to pay him too.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that to go around. And look, that may not be it. Maybe Ole Miss matched whatever other SEC schools offered, and he's wanting to go elsewhere anyway. As I understand it, though, the juice became not worth the squeeze. We'll see. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
From the Seabrook, it's time for more Sports Talk Mississippi.
Finally.
On SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk app, and at supertalk.fm.
Excuse me. Back here on a Thursday afternoon, Brian Hadad and Michael Borkey. Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you in part by AgriGold. AgriGold believes progress in the field starts with the seed and the people who plant it. That's why AgriGold focuses 100% on seed, delivering trusted genetics and solutions to help you get more out of every acre. Contact Carrie Baker at 662-836-7417. That's your local AgriGold representative to learn more. Or you can visit agrigold.com to explore seed solutions and agronomy resources. Plant your legacy today with AgriGold.
So we got the announcement earlier, not surprised at all. Too many people, when the schedule gets released, it's happened like 4 years in a row now, where the schedule gets released from the SEC and the Egg Bowl's on Saturday, and people are like, oh, wow, look, the Egg Bowl's on Saturday. It's always a placeholder. It's always a placeholder. They do not change those games until later. In fact, Ole Miss's season opener, we still don't exactly know what day it's going to be, the 5th or the 6th of September, Saturday or Sunday. That's against Louisville and Nashville. But the Egg Bowl is back on Black Friday again this year. The schools announced it just earlier today. Time slot and network.
It's back on Black!
Nailed it.
Yeah.
The network, you can assume ABC. And the time slot You can probably assume 11 a.m., although I don't know that for sure. But you can probably guess pretty comfortably that that's when the game will kick off.
Going to require a hotel room in Oxford. I'm not getting up at 3:30, 4 in the morning to drive to Oxford to do a 6 a.m. show again. Going to have to stay in Oxford the night before. I'll eat my Thanksgiving lunch. I'll drive to Oxford, stay the night. I'll be up Friday morning. But I'm just telling you now.
We need to do that show from the Grove next year.
If that's on you. Make that
It's
happen.
not on me.
Well, it's on somebody, but it's not, but I will not leave Starkville at 4 a.m. to do that. I will not.
Coffee in the Grove? Watch the sunrise from the Grove?
Coffee. It's right here.
Well, the coffee for me. Oh, we can get a coffee sponsor too? See, I'm cooking ideas already. We're 11 months away from the Egg Bowl, and I've already got, in the Grove. Oh, they probably won't let us do it in the Grove.
No, they probably wouldn't.
Because of contracts and stuff.
Yeah, and such. And CH.
Somewhere. No,
plus, my personal safety would be, they
do shows from the Grove. We can do a show from the Grove. Even if we don't tell anybody, we show up and, I'll find a friend's tent that'll just kind of let us set up in there.
What are you going to
do? They all we need is a power hookup, buddy, and we can do a radio show from anywhere.
If we've got Houston, we just need 2 sticks.
So we'll do that.
Them together.
We'll have a coffee sponsor and some kind of breakfast. Boom. There we go. Egg Bowl from the Grove. See you then on Black Friday, though.
Black Friday, yeah. So, yeah. No surprise. Yeah, that's a good point, though. Coffee is for closers. So, yeah, I don't know if you can get in on that. Yeah, no surprise. I remember saying when the thing came out, I was like, we'll see how that turns out. And I think Black Friday will be the home of the Egg Bowl for the foreseeable future, unless something changes between now and then. It's just a good spot for it. Some people don't like it, but it is what it is. From a ratings perspective this year, really high. You don't get lost in the shuffle of all the other rivalry games that are being played on that Saturday. Thanksgiving's a no-go at this point with the NFL. This is the way it's got to be.
Yeah, and look, if you're one of those people that does not care at all about your schools getting exposure, then this just doesn't matter to you. Yeah. But when it comes to the exposure, Black Friday's been a great thing for the Egg Bowl.
Yeah.
It was so much better watched than they are on Thanksgiving night competing with the NFL. It's so much better. And I think that matters. You want your schools to be watched by the most people they possibly can be. It's good for branding. It's good for the academic side. It's good for all of it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the move to Black Friday has been very good.
Yeah.
So far.
We'll see where. I can't imagine they're going to change it anytime soon. So
no, we're stuck with this one, which I'm okay with. Saturday it gets lost in the shuffle, and then it's. I know people have to work on Black Friday. That's really unfortunate.
Well,
I'm profane, and I hate that.
I'm going to let you in on a secret that I see that a lot. Like, oh, I got to work on Black Friday. Well, there are a lot of people on this planet that have to work on Saturday.
Yeah, the world doesn't stop on Saturday.
There are a lot of people who have to work Thanksgiving Day. Remember what we said yesterday? You're never going to make everybody happy. So find the way to make the most people happy, and go from there.
Yeah, somebody's already offering us their tent. See. We've got. Hey, now we could have this sold by the end of the day if we just keep talking about it.
We really could. So. Email Hadad at supertalk.fm for potential sponsorship.
No, Borkey at supertalk.fm.
Email whoever you like better.
There is something awesome about watching the sunrise from your tailgate. Yeah. I think it should be against the law for a game to kick off when the sun is still rising. Vote for me. When I run for president, that'll be on my platform, as no football games are allowed to kick off when the sun is still on its way up. But if you have to deal with that, sunrise in the tailgate with a screwdriver in your hand, buddy, that's a pretty good feeling.
It's good. It works.
You feel powerful when you watch the sun rise, and then less so after the game, and you realize that you've been up since 4 o'clock, and Sorry, that was my doorbell camera that opened.
It's like, what is happening here? Okay. We're all the same. Yes, yeah. An early morning. Yeah, it would be interesting too. By the way, just like to be out there in the pitch black of the Grove from like 6 to 6:45, and then the sun comes up. Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Can we get armed security for me there? And I don't know how safe I feel in that environment.
Somebody says other teams can kick off early, just not mine. I mean,
that's it. These are the same. It goes back to what we said yesterday. I like all of the transfers my team has brought in. All of the ones my rival has brought in has sucked. It's the same thing. Like, what about me?
The people on the East Coast, by the way, have the audacity to complain about noon kickoffs.
Oh, I know.
I grew up on that. I grew up on it. Man, Clemson and South Carolina fans, they complain about, oh, it's too early. That 1 hour.
It's huge.
It's massive. 11 a.m. versus noon. It's huge.
Yeah.
And they complain about it over there. Little do they know. And you've got 10 a.m. starts now happening for the folks in the mountain time, too.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Somebody says 6 a.m. show needs the white Russians and the host dressed like the Big Lebowski. I'm in.
I'm the dad.
Hey, you pay. Yeah. If you pay for us to be there, I'll wear whatever you tell me to.
At that time of morning, I would be a lot more like Walter Sobchak at that point. Like, I don't get out of bed. I don't go to work. And I sure as heck don't roll on Egg Bowl Friday.
Your opening rant. Of course, it would be freezing cold that day.
Oh, that's the other side of that,
we would choose to do an outside show, and it would be brutally cold, and you would have sat
down. We'd get rain that day, too.
Oh, it'd be raining, too. Yeah. We'd be under a tent, but the tents only do so much.
Literally just be like... just like you could see my cheeks twitching. Just like, I swear to God, the things I do for this company.
Oh, man.
Yes. Make it happen.
Your rant would be.
They would hear me.
Awesome.
They would hear me from the Lyceum to Vaught Hemingway. They would hear what is that?
We don't even need those PA speakers that we have either. It's just.
You're like, you gotta be kidding me!
What am I doing here?
Exactly.
Hey, Dad, we put this much money on the show. Not worth it.
Yeah. What do I get?
Nothing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Didn't even get a couch at the Cross House. You know, Richard Cross hosted Mornings with Richard Cross.
Yeah.
Wouldn't offer you the couch to stay on.
I mean, what can be said?
He'd probably say, grab a pillow. You know, I've got a Ford F-150 in the garage that I bought at Belk Ford and Oxford Toyota.
I probably got more than one.
Oh, there's multiple.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'd say, go sleep in the bed of the truck. I'll put a little tent over it. You'll be fine.
I wonder what the other Friday games will be. Did they announce any others?
I have only seen this one.
So, I mean, last year was Georgia Tech and Texas A&M, right?
Yes.
So, probably the same. I wonder, probably keeping this, I bet it's the same schedule. I bet 11 a.m. is the Egg Bowl, Georgia Tech in the mid-afternoon. Although that's that's a Georgia home game this year. I forgot it was a Georgia Tech home game last year, but they stupidly gave it to Atlanta, or gave it to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so it turned into a Georgia home game. Then Texas A&M at night. Yeah, that's probably how it's going to end up all playing out. So there it is.
When we come back, I read this earlier, and man, did it make me laugh. A letter that Bobby Bowden wrote his football team in 1977. Because, back in the 70s, there was no group messages or anything like that. He had to send a letter to all of his players telling him when they need to report to training camp and what they need to do when they get there. And, buddy, these were the good old days, as it turns out. I cannot wait to read this letter to you guys that Bobby Bowden wrote to his football team. It'll make you smile. It did me anyway. So I'll do that for you when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi, the Egg Bowl on Black Friday once again. We'll be back.
In the
Mississippi, your all-access pass to all things sports in Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Welcome back. Michael Borkey and Brian Hadad with you, Sports Talk Mississippi, on this Thursday. So I teased it a second ago, and this made me smile. A letter, a resurfaced letter, is what they're calling it at Football Scoop, but they have the screenshot here. It was dated August 3rd, 1977, from Bobby Bowden, the head coach at Florida State, to his team. And here's what the letter said. Dear Seminole, report in top physical condition when you come in on August 19th. We do not have time to wait for anyone to get in shape. We depart for southern Mississippi 3 weeks after. You report, and I am looking for the 50 toughest men to go with me. By the way, Florida State won 35-6.
I was just about to look that up. Yeah.
Here's where it gets funny. Okay, I'm sorry. Fat people will be left behind in their tracks.
Hey.
Kicking, conditioning, and execution will win the opener. The only thing you must do is be in better condition than your opponent, no matter how good he is. That cracks me up so bad. Fat people will be left behind in their tracks.
Come on, Bobby.
Have your hair cut before you report. No beards, no mustache below your upper lip, sideburns no lower than your earlobes, no hair sticking out in front of your helmet, and flaring out below the back rim of your helmet.
I couldn't play for Bobby Bowden, apparently.
Bring a coat and tie and dress shirt with you for trips. We will dress like men, not children. Be sure to have your head screwed on right when you get here. We will work toward one common goal when you report, and that is to get the 50 best men ready to get after Southern Mississippi. If you do not make the top 50, be disciplined enough to make us a better team through hustle and good morale. We need everybody. Leave all pets at home. I do not want them in our housing. See you August 19th, 11 a.m. Hail FSU, signed Bobby Bowden.
Marty saying the entire family wouldn't have been able to play at Florida State. You're correct. Been in trouble.
Man. They played in the Tangerine Bowl that year.
Yeah, that must be his first season.
And that was one of only, 13 bowl games at the time.
If that many. Because, the year before this, they were 5-6. They had not had a winning season since 1971 at that point. 1972. Including 0-11 and 1-10, 73-74. So, yeah.
Tough scene there.
I mean, he knew how to win. I guess I shouldn't question him.
What do you think 1977 Bobby Bowden would think about the sheer size of man on offensive lines in 2026?
He'd have told his lineman, you better show up fat. You better don't come to this camp at 290. You better be 3 bills, buddy.
Man, you had tackles in 77 that were 6'2", 235.
235, 240, yeah. Kent Hull famously at Mississippi State when he was the starting center was 220 pounds. It's just insane to think about.
Now you've got 6'8", 315 pounds that can run 5-second 40s. Yeah, squat 700 pounds.
6'3", 220 as a running back some days. And they're running a 4.4. Yeah, we've changed a lot.
I saw a video of the NBA from 1955. Oh, it's one of the. Hey, Dad.
It's not the same sport.
I would have been the best player in the league in the 1950s. Oh, my God.
It's not the same sport.
I would have been Wilt Chamberlain and LeBron James and Kobe Bryant combined in 1950. I could, do the dunk where if I let go of the ball a little, it would look like I dunked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I couldn't get full ball and palm above the rim.
I got you.
But, yeah, could easily grab rim and all that stuff back when I was, an athlete, as opposed to my knee hurts and I don't know why these days.
Right.
So.
Well, wait till you get older like me, and it's not just your knee. Literally everything.
Dude, I was up in the garage attic and the ladder broke, and I fell from damn near the very top of the ladder.
Oh, no.
And my rear end, this was 3 weeks ago, and my rear end still hurts from that. I have not recovered there. And my wrist, I caught my fall with my wrist. It's not broken, I don't think, because it never swelled up. But hey, Dad, I can't swing a golf club right now. 3 weeks later, my wrist still hurts from falling from my attic.
I would literally be dead. Like, you would have had a very special episode of Sports Talk Mississippi with piano music in the breaks and picture of me, in loving memory if I fell like that.
Man.
Last time I fell was like 5 or 6 years ago. I slipped in my driveway, and I don't know that I've ever been that mad in my life. I was so angry. So angry.
Man. Sports Talk Mississippi. So we started with the local news of the day. Ole Miss getting a win. Daugherty hitting the portal. Now we'll turn to the national story that does have a unfortunate local spin. The game-fixing scandal in college basketball has increased in scale, and the indictment and some of the details in it are ridiculous. So we'll tell you about that after the news at Sports Talk Mississippi. Don't go anywhere.
Your home opening in Mississippi sports. You'll hear about it first, right here. Sports Talk Mississippi.
I feel like I should be sitting at the bar smoking a cigarette when this song plays. Talking about the Lufthansa heist. Sports Talk Mississippi. Hadad and Michael Borkey with you here on a Thursday. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi? In about an hour and 15, we'll be talking to Cole Kubelik of ESPN and the SEC Network. Get his thoughts on the national championship game and some other college football topics. We also got to hit on this college basketball gambling scandal. Got a little local flavor to it, unfortunately for some. We'll do all that coming up. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Ag Up. Start the new year with a compact tractor that's a proven performer and get a great deal. You get it all at Ag Up Equipment. Right now, get 0% financing for 48 months on select John Deere 1 through 4 series compact tractors. You can't beat these workhorses or the 0% financing. Stop by your local Ag Up or visit them at agup.com. Your down-home dealer. Offer ends 1/30/126. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
So more arrests have been made in a point-shaving scheme that involves 39 players on 17 different college basketball teams. Reading from ESPN resulted in dozens of games in the previous 2 seasons being fixed by a gambling ring that included a former NBA player. The indictment was unsealed from the Eastern District of Pennsylvania today. 20 of the 26 defendants played college basketball during the 23/24 season or the 24-25 seasons. 4 of the players charged played this week for their teams. One of them is the preseason Conference USA Player of the Year. Is it Simeon Cottle? And he scored 21 points last night for Kennesaw State. None of the games are from this year. So he's not being accused of point fixing this year, but the preseason Conference USA Player of the Year and a 20-point per game scorer to lead Kennesaw State is part of this indictment. There are a number of schools named in this: Abilene Christian, Alabama State, Buffalo, Coppin State, DePaul, Eastern Michigan, Fordham, Kennesaw State, as we just mentioned, LaSalle, New Orleans, Nichols State. Aren't they just Nichols now? Didn't they rebrand?
I think they're still Nichols State. I could be wrong.
North Carolina A&T, Northwestern State, Robert Morris, St. Louis, Tulane, and Southern Miss. We'll get to that in just a second. Authorities described 5 defendants as, quote, fixers, who recruited players to participate in the scheme and offered bribes ranging from $10,000 to $30,000 to underperform. Bettors then placed and won millions of dollars in wagers on the fixed games, according to the prosecutors. At least 2 of the defendants were also charged in the NBA point-shaving scandal as well. 3 of the others had connections in college basketball from that other scandal, so there's some crossover here. One of the players involved, or one of the people involved in this, is a name that most of you guys might recognize. Antonio Blakeney was not charged but was named in the indictment. He was allegedly part of the group that recruited players in this scheme and offered bribes, but he has been charged separately, just not part of this indictment. That is a blast from the past when it comes to a name, anyway. Played at LSU. Mm-hmm. What? It's amazing how LSU just keeps popping up. Anyway. Obviously played in Chicago, played overseas in China. Also, the Chinese Basketball Association is involved in this as well. There's a lot in this. There's a lot to unravel. There is games like this one. $458,000 in wagers were placed on Towson to beat North Carolina A&T. $424,000 were placed on Kent State to cover the first half spread against Buffalo in a game. And there is there's a video surfacing online of that Buffalo-Kent State game. And in this country, you are innocent until you are proven guilty. But boy, do they look like they were making sure that first half spread was not covered.
Yeah. So we got a text here from Dan in Hattiesburg. Says, I find it hard to believe that it only involved mid-major schools. I don't. Because they felt like that could fly under the radar a little bit easier.
In the indictment, they address it, Dan.
Yeah, and also you would think with NIL nowadays, a lot of those players, why would I do that for $1,000 when I'm getting $20,000 a year to play? Why would I risk that? Yeah,
so. They talked about it today. They targeted the lower levels because even though when you wager large amounts on Towson basketball, it will raise red flags. That's kind of how you get caught.
That's how Brad Bohannon got caught trying to bet on random college baseball games. I mean, it's the kind of stuff that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, and those players, $30,000 to a North Carolina A&T player is a ton of money, but $30,000 to, we'll use local, Ole Miss and State players, that's not worth the risk.
Josh Hubbart's not doing that for $30,000.
No way.
Like, that's the drop in the bucket. So
that's why they targeted those players. They
Can
targeted
you
players that
imagine
don't
being the
have
guy
a lot of
who
money.
goes to the casino or goes online to bet $400,000 on Towson State? I mean, why don't you just wear a shirt that says this is fishy?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Here is the Southern Miss section of the indictment. Mo Arnold, former guard, is the main defendant. He's being accused of underperforming. Here's some of the indictment. It's legal wordy, but it's obviously important. In or about late February 2024, the Fixers, including a couple of the defendants, and Antonio Blakeney's named on that, recruited for their point-shaving scheme defendant, Arnold, a guard, as well as other players, including Person 9. Don't know who Person 9 is. Both known to the grand jury on the University of Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles men's basketball team, in FaceTime calls, defendant Arnold, Person 9 and Person 10, agreed to underperform in and influence an upcoming game against the University of South Alabama Jaguars men's basketball team. On or about February 28th, 2024, Southern Mississippi played against South Alabama in a basketball game. I'm trying to cut out some of the legal stuff here.
Right.
At the Mitchell Center in Mobile. South Alabama was favored by approximately 1.5 points in the first half at sportsbooks throughout the United States and elsewhere. Before the game, the Fixers, including defendants, the Fixers, and others acting at their discretion, placed wagers of at least approximately $275,000 on South Alabama to cover the first half spread of approximately 1.5 points. To increase the profitability of their scheme, these wagers included parlays on this game along with other games that the schemers had fixed by bribing players. In text message communications with a straw bettor, one of the defendants communicated that the defendant, Arnold, from Southern Miss, had agreed to fix the game and that the straw bettor could place bets on the game, telling him, quote, "We locked he and Arnold. Gone call after practice, though." So, very eloquently put there. On or about February 28th, 2024, in the game between Southern Miss and South Alabama, defendant Arnold attempted to underperform in and influence the first half of the game, but the first half ended in a tie. resulting in the Fixers losing their bets. Defendant Arnold scored 0 points in the first half. Following this failed attempt and given the substantial betting losses for the Fixers, Defendant Arnold agreed to make up for the losses by helping to fix an upcoming Southern Mississippi game against the University of Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. Again, I'm trying to cut out some legal stuff. They overwrite here. Shortly before this game, Defendant Arnold, person 9 and 10, engaged in a FaceTime call with the defendants. In that call, Defendant Arnold and the other Southern Mississippi players agreed to underperform in and influence the upcoming game against Louisiana Lafayette in exchange for bribes. To further the scheme, person 9 agreed to sit out the game. On or about March 1st, 2024, Southern Mississippi played against Louisiana at the Cajun Dome. Louisiana was favored by approximately 5 points in the first half at sportsbooks throughout the United States. Before the game, the Fixers, including Antonio Blakeney and others, and others acting at their discretion, placed wagers with various sportsbooks totaling at least approximately $161,000 on Louisiana to cover the first half spread. In the game between Southern Miss and Louisiana, Defendant Arnold, person 9 and person 10, underperformed in and influenced the first half as they agreed. Louisiana outscored Southern Miss in the first half 39-23, covering the spread of 5 points, and the Fixers won their bets.
So I've got the box score pulled up here. Mo Arnold in that game shot 3 of 8 from the field. He had 3 fouls, 3 turnovers. Southern Miss turned the ball over 19 times in this game. And if you're talking about, we don't know who the other people involved were. Well, there were 2. I won't name their names. You can look up in the box score, but 2 other players with 5 turnovers each, and another one with 4 turnovers in this game. Southern shot 4 of 18 from the 3-point line in this one. And what's funny is you mentioned the halftime score, right? 39-23. USM in the second half was tied. It was 38-38.
Did they mention that in the indictment, actually?
Exactly.
Once the players stopped.
They obviously were pretty – I guess we'll talk a little bit more about this. Let's continue.
Yeah, there's one more paragraph that it's pretty pertinent in this indictment. That we'll
do
get
that
to
when we come back. It's Sports Talk Mississippi here, talking about this college basketball gambling scandal, which has sunk its claws into Southern Mississippi.
Talk Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. So, reading the Southern Miss portion of this indictment, college basketball point shaving scandal involves the Golden Eagles last year. Here's the last part. Defendant Fairley, one of the Fixers, later paid Defendant Arnold, the former Southern Miss guard, tens of thousands of dollars as bribe payments for Defendant Arnold and his teammate fixing the Louisiana game. After the game and after receiving the bribe payments, Defendant Arnold continued to help recruit other basketball players for the point-shaving scheme. For example, in or about March 2024, Defendant Arnold recruited Defendant Carlos Hart for this scheme. Later, in or about December 2024, Defendant Arnold worked with Defendant Jalen Smith to attempt to recruit for the scheme 3 players on the Southern Mississippi basketball team. And as Dan points out, these games occurred while Jay Ladner was out on medical leave after suffering his heart attack. I hate that. That's my first thought was I hate it for Jay Ladner, and I hate it for everybody at Southern Miss to have to deal with something like that. I mean, that's not their fault. Right. None of that is their fault in any way, shape, or form. And you've got a coach going through a medical situation, and you've got players allegedly point shaving, throwing halves of games, trying to recruit other players to get involved in that as well. It's a shame. And I can't imagine what Jeremy McClain's phone is like today or what they're dealing with in the offices today. It just really unfortunate that good people that try to do things the right way have to deal with the repercussions of really bad actors. It's a shame.
That's the truth about almost every bad thing that happens in the world, is that some good person gets hurt as a result of it. So the numbers involved in this are incredible. I mean, and this is the thing with Chauncey Billups too, right? It goes all the way back to him.
There's some intertwining with these groups. Yes.
Some people who should have been a lot smarter about the way they live their lives, because they Chauncey Billups is not a person who needed to be involved in illegal gambling to be a millionaire. He was already one, and you see what's happening. So,
and what happens from here, I don't know. I mean, it is against the law. Somebody's asking, is this jail time? It certainly can be. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe you can sing and bring other people down, but
how far are you going to go down? Like how many people are
with these dollar amounts? I mean, again, total of $458K on Townsend, $425,000 on Kent State to cover a first half spread. Mentioned the Southern Miss ones, $256,000 in total on Northern Kentucky to cover a first half spread against Robert Morris, and on and on and on. And these are only the guys that got caught.
Yeah.
These are only the guys that got caught. I can't imagine, because read in the indictment, we just told you, there was an attempt to recruit more players. What if they haven't been caught?
If I'm one of those people and I have any money left, I'm getting out of the country. I'm getting out of here, because you're not gonna. They're going. You mentioned singing, right? Somebody is going to say your name eventually.
Yep. Where do you start if you're the Southern Miss president? Fair question. Yeah. Where do you start on this?
Well, like we said, Ladner was out, so I don't think he's not involved.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not talking about firing a coach.
I don't know where you start though. Like the player, the bad actors are gone at this point, right? Mm-hmm. They're not there anymore. So you tell the federal government we will cooperate in any way we can and go from there. I don't think the NCAA is going to,
You have a lot of questions for your current team, though. Yeah. Oh man, you had an uncomfortable day with your current roster.
Yeah, we need to know who you've talked to. Do you know, what is your have you spoken to any of these guys in the past? Things like that. I don't know.
I mean, I imagine if they have not already, their phones and communications going to get scrubbed. Mm-hmm. Read a column from Dan Wolkin about how this is our fault. Essentially what it is, that society has begged for more access to gambling, prop bets and all that stuff. It's everywhere. You can't escape it. And that it's kind of, society's fault that this has happened. Part of me wonders, though, if we are just now learning how widespread it's always been. Because there's always been bookies, there's always been point shaving, but you didn't have the technology in place to flag irregular betting the way you do now. Maybe the ease of access did create a situation where it's a lot more. Yeah. But I am here to tell you...
This has been going on for decades,
Point fixing has been going on for a long time.
Carmine Lupertazzi invented it, as we all know. And, it's funny. I think I just saw Richard Deitch tweet. He's like, there was a time when they had the first point shaving scandal. It was national news. Today, Mississippi State picking up an offensive lineman in the transfer portal is moving the needle more here in this state than this story is. But this is a massive story.
Yeah.
And, I don't know where it's going to end. Eventually you're gonna find somebody who's not willing to talk, because he represents people that you talk, and you're not going to be around for much longer. But
yeah, well, one of the Tulane players named this, Kevin Cross, played in 120 games at Tulane. Wasn't a transfer, wasn't anything. Team's best player, 120 games for Tulane, and still did it. Makes you wonder how easily exploited they were. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, with these schools where the players don't make a ton of NIL, $2,000, $5,000 to do something it's big money.
Dan says the fans down here have been wanting to get rid of Ladner for years now. This doesn't help matters. Yeah, I do wonder, too, how much, if you're already not winning to the level that you want to, do you just use this as, hey, coach, look, we probably just need a reset here.
But at the same time,
totally not fair to him.
It's not his fault. He couldn't have stopped this.
But do you use that as, look, the wins aren't really here right now?
Yeah. I mean, it's possible.
And now you got this. Maybe it's just time for a clean break. I don't know.
Very possible.
I don't know. Fascinating story, though. 601-879-4395.
As we just said, I really do feel like we're just in the early stages of it. Tip of the iceberg kind of stuff. We're right now the power players in college football are hoping that they don't hear their names being called anytime soon.
I mean,
we've seen college baseball and we've seen college basketball. Where's college football at? Yeah,
if you're in the compliance office of these teams right now, you call a team meeting right now and you say, all of you, give me your cell phones now. Yeah. And give me the unlock code on your phones now. And I will find every DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever, and it will be gone. And we'll do this again on an undisclosed day. And if we find that app on your phone, you're gone.
Yeah, it's got to be that way.
Because I promise you, there are guys on teams all over the country that have those apps on their phone right now. Oh, you know it.
Oh, 100%.
You know it.
100%. What's the solution here? Is there one?
Get rid of player props at the college level.
Well, and especially because that's not something that illegal gambling is equipped to handle.
There's so many.
Right. You just can't do it. Like, Joe, your local bookie is a guy, he'll take game bets. He's not going to sit there and take over-unders on rebounds and steals and things like that. It's just too much work. So
the player props.
That's a good way to start. I don't know. I don't know beyond that what the solutions would be.
And it's so hard to catch too. Do you know how easy it would be if your over/under for rebounds is 8.5 and you get 8?
Mm-hmm.
How easy that is.
Well, now, yeah. At that point, you get your 8 rebound. You've already bet the under, and then you say, "Oh, my ankle."
Yeah, you land awkwardly, roll your ankle, and
coach, I need to come out. I don't feel right. Simple as that.
Yeah, got to. Can they take phones without a warrant? I don't know. Oh, no. I mean, you don't say, I'm taking your phone forever. It's, before this, give me your phone now. What's the unlock code? I will search, because you can search for apps on your phone.
Right.
I'll search for the gambling apps, and when I'm done, you have your phone right back.
Right. And it's not, you have to give me your phone. It's give me your phone or you can't play football here anymore. Because, yeah, you have to have a warrant to take it to court, but you don't have to have a warrant to be on the football team.
Yeah.
The coach, if Pete Golding today said, I need to see everybody's phone, they're going to give them the phones.
Yes. Sad stuff. 601-879-4395, the C Spire text line. We'll get back to football. There's an interesting thing that is on the line in the national championship game on Monday. A trend could be broken for the first time ever on Monday. We'll tell you about it when we come back.
From the Seabrook best sports talk in the state.
It's the best thing.
Say that again.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
All right now. Won't you listen? When I first met you.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Really glad that you guys are with us. So, there is a thing that has existed in college football where every national champion has had at least 2 top 10 recruiting classes prior in the 4 years prior to their winning season. I know the portal has changed high school recruiting some, but that trend has continued until possibly this year. Miami meets the threshold. In 24, they had the number 5 class. In 23, they had the number 8, sandwiched between the number 14 and the number 13 recruiting classes. Mm-hmm. Indiana, not so much. Number 53, number 60, number 59, and number 29. If Indiana wins the national championship on Monday, they will be the first team ever to not have 2 top 10 high school recruiting classes in the 4 years leading up to their national championship season.
Right. Obviously, when we say ever, we're talking about in the modern era.
In the recruiting era.
Recruiting rankings and everything. Yeah. I mean, we call it the blue chip index. We've talked about it on this show many times that, it's a very useful and very accurate tool that if your roster is not made up of, 50% or more, maybe 60% or more.
No team has won a national championship without half of its roster being a blue chip recruit.
And by blue chip, they mean a 4 or 5 star recruit.
Correct.
And so this is the first time in this new era of college football we've seen somebody break through like this and compete for a national title. Again, if Miami wins it, it's still worth noting with Indiana, because I guess TCU probably did not have meet the threshold either. They couldn't have, did they?
They did not.
Yeah, but obviously they didn't win, and they got blown out by a team that beyond met that threshold in Georgia. They were the kings of the blue chip index. So it's definitely very interesting. It's one of those things like, if we could go back and evaluate some of those guys, Mendoza would be a 5-star, obviously. But being what it is, I think that Indiana is going to break this trend. That's where my predictions would lie.
It is pretty crazy. Their transfer portal classes last year, number 13. Let's go to 2024. Mm-hmm. Give me just a second here.
But I'm sure they weren't super high.
10 in 2024.
Okay.
13 in 2023. Mm-hmm. But still, that's not enough. Mm-hmm. To
they shouldn't be here.
They should not be here.
But they are.
And 20th in 2022, although that's a decade away.
Right.
At this point.
But yeah, I mean, they are the ultimate paradigm shift in college football. They are the ones who can tell you that a program that does not have any historical weight can get to this point. A program that does not recruit elite talent year in, year out can get to this point. A program that takes a coach that a lot of people said was too old can get to this point. I mean, Indiana is just out here breaking every stereotype. They are the most dominant team in college football. And if they win this national title, it'll be the first ever 16-0 team. They're going to be right there. Look, if you want to make the comparisons between them and LSU from 2019 or from one of the Alabama teams or whatever, I'll leave that for another day. But they're in the tier with them.
Yeah. I need to amend that also. I did On3, and I forget On3's portal class rankings are weird. 24/7 just simply does the players that you're bringing in.
Yeah.
In 2025, Indiana had the 25th best transfer portal class. Of the 23 players, only 3 of them were 4 stars or better. In 2024, 30. The 30th ranked portal class. That is a more apt reflection of the players simply that they brought into the program.
Correct.
So not good enough.
But at the same time, the best in the country.
Wild. Absolutely wild. Currently, in the 2026 portal recruiting, LSU has the number 1 overall portal class with 28 commits. Ole Miss number 2 with 17. Texas 3 with just 15. Penn State has 36 portal players coming in. That is the reason that they're ranked number 4. Oklahoma State, this will blow your mind,
Okay.
If you had to guess right now how many transfer portal players Oklahoma State is bringing in
This year?
so far, yes.
It's probably close to 40.
49.
Yeah. I mean,
And they're probably
how many
not
of them
done.
how many of them are from North Texas?
Let me tell you, probably a good bit.
Probably a good chunk, probably at least 10, probably 10 to 15. That's always an interesting situation. Like, and it worked at Indiana, right? But you are taking a risk when you say, I'm going to take all these guys who are great in the group of 6. One player, 2 player, that's sure.
16 by my count.
Yeah, you're talking about you're bringing, 20% of your team from a group of 6 teams. That can be dangerous.
Mississippi State presently the 32nd ranked transfer portal class.
And that's on 24/7, right?
That is on 24/7.
So 24/7, though, you do have to take into consideration. They rank with players going in and out. So State's got 21 commitments, I think, but they've had 35 leave. So it washes itself out. 0-3, which is, I mean, quite honestly, we should be an 0-3 friendly family here. They only rank who's coming in. I think State's like 17th in that one.
Let me tell you. 18.
18. Okay.
No, On3 does the transfers in, transfers out.
Well, no, they list
Looking
them,
at it right now.
They list them, but they don't rank them that way, do they?
Yes.
Okay.
You have that backwards. You have it reversed.
Oh, well, then never mind.
Yeah, because right now Louisville has the number 4 class in the country. LSU has the number 19 portal class in the country, according to On3, because they're losing 32 players.
Okay. All right. Well, then I had it backwards then. We should still be an On3 family friendly thing.
I have no allegiances.
I mean,
I probably should, though, because of Robbie.
There's an On3 guy that works for this company. Yeah, exactly.
Interesting stuff there.
Yeah, I've been thinking about the blue chip index like ever since the portal started because it makes it the portal just changes things so much, right? When we talk about 40% of your roster or 50 or 60% of your roster was a blue chip guy back in 2018, 2017, right? Those guys couldn't transfer. So your third and fourth string guys were these freshmen, redshirt freshmen who were huge recruits, but they're still waiting their turn. Now those guys get scattered to the 4 wins. And you're redoing it every year.
Pretty much. Would love to know how Signetti evaluates talent. Do you want the conspiracy answer or the real answer? The real answer is they have a very old football team. A lot of guys that have played a lot of college football, a lot of 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds on that team. That helps. And I mean, he's won everywhere. Maybe he's just really good at this. He's got a veteran quarterback that helps. I mean, think about what they are with an average quarterback. With a guy that's just okay. They're not here. They're not anywhere close to here with a guy that's just okay.
Right. It's one of those things, like, and Chambliss is the same way. Like, where was the evaluation missed on these guys in high school? Like, Mendoza wasn't a highly recruited guy. Chambliss had to go D2.
Late blooming for various reasons.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Beck was an elite prospect. Coming out of high school, really good. Who's the other Final Four quarterback? Dante Moore was a 5-star kid.
Yeah,
he was one of the top quarterbacks in the country. So that's an interest. The highly recruited guy won on the Ole Miss Miami game, but the lowly recruited guy won on the Indiana game.
I mean,
Indiana, Oregon.
You don't go to the right camp or whatever. Chambliss was a big basketball player, so he didn't go to he didn't do all that. Didn't go do the camp circuit and all that because he was playing basketball. A lot of these guys grow too. I mean, there's an offensive lineman that just committed to Texas that was playing like Canadian high school football for 1 year as a senior in high school or something like that. And he ended up, I forget where he went first, but then he went to Wake Forest and didn't give up a sack this year and then went to Texas. He's just a super late bloomer.
That was funny, by the way. That guy went into the portal at like noon and was committed to Texas by 1:30, I believe.
I mean, you quick flight to
how
Austin.
that happened. Yeah.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
Now we have a special surprise for everyone.
Give it to me.
More Sports Talk Mississippi right now on Super Talk Mississippi.
I was like looking at you, like, look at me. Look at me. And you're just locked in there. Sports Talk Mississippi. A little breaking news here. Chris Jones, Southern Mississippi linebacker, has officially flipped and signed. We knew he was out with Ole Miss, but has signed with Florida State. He will be a Seminole next season.
Yeah, that is...
That's where it's always trending.
Yep. They are... It's just one of those things. Sometimes you place a value on a player and somebody places a different value, and if that different value is greater, he does and should go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he had no loyalty
just,
to Ole Miss. He never took a snap at Ole Miss. If Florida State was going to offer more, then yes, go.
It really is just like anything else, right? When we've got two job offers on the table, you take the one that's paying more 99.9% of the time. Maybe sometimes there's something in the other offer that you like, the company, I don't know, and you decide to go that way. But most of the time, like college football players, they're just like the rest of us. They're driven by money.
It does, like we said earlier when we talked about Daugherty, Ole Miss is working on linebackers, and they need to. That is a position right now. They need depth on the defensive line. Starters on the defensive line, good shape. Need depth there. Mm-hmm. Secondary, good shape. Running back, obviously very good shape. Wide receiver, we'll talk about that more after the news, good shape. Tight end, good shape. Mm-hmm. Linebacker is one, and then offensive tackle is another, where they've got visitors incoming and they need to make that happen. Mm-hmm. Simply put, to have a complete football team this year. I mean, they have the number 2 portal class right now. They're doing a great job. They did a great job in retention, but you're not keeping everybody in this era, and so you got to, if they want to get back to where they were, got to do some closing this weekend. The national championship game is bringing back the coaches' film room.
Saw that.
If you want to watch the game through the eyes of the coaches. Honestly, I really enjoy this, especially when it's a game that I'm not emotionally invested in.
Agreed.
I might check this out. Mike Gundy will be on ESPN's Coaches Film Room broadcast during the game. It will be on ESPNU, by the way. First time they've done this in a long time, 4 years. Mm-hmm. Steve Adazio, guys being dudes, will be on there. Dave Clawson, which I'm very excited to hear from him, former Wake Forest head coach. Mm-hmm. And Gene Chizik, along with, Zubin Mehenti of ESPN, the guy that's going to kind of moderate the thing.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Forgive me for butchering your name, sir. And they'll have a rules analyst in there as well, just to kind of
take up for the officials.
Yeah, to be the TV ref to take up for the officials. But I will tune in. I think Mike Gundy would be. They just need to let him have a beer. You know, you got to put it in a tumbler or whatever because you can't like openly drink on ESPN, I don't think.
Right.
Maybe you can actually because it's not regulated by the FCC. It doesn't matter. Give Mike Gundy a Bud Heavy or two.
Yeah.
Before he gets on the set.
I don't know. This is not the most exciting group of coaches.
But that's why I'm saying let Gundy.
Yeah, you let him carry it.
Let him carry it. But let him put his feet up too. And bare feet too. He's not going to put tennis shoes up there.
No,
let him go barefoot.
If I could give you, I'll give you any 4 current head coaches. Who do you want?
Current or former head coaches, 4 of them.
Yeah.
You got to go charisma here. That's
Right.
what you're after. You're after charisma.
All right. Well, let's just take Saban and Urban Meyer out.
No, I don't want.
Yeah,
they'd be really interesting, but I want fun.
Okay. I want. Well, that's a good question. We may have to come back to this a little later. I sprung it on us here.
Who would be the fun coaches to have on there? There's not that many fun coaches. Jimbo would be good.
Jimbo would be good.
He's good on the ACC network.
So you get Jimbo.
Really good.
I wouldn't mind.
Brett Bielema.
Bielema would be good. Very good. That's a good choice. I want somebody when I think X's and O's, I want to go like deep. Who's the guy for that?
I think Lincoln Riley talking offense would be. He's got
interesting. Yeah. And then
see, people would automatically say Kiffin. He's not good in those settings.
Kiffin would be terrible.
That's
terrible in that situation.
He's good online. He's not good in those settings at all.
Sam Pittman. That'd be fun.
He'd be good.
Coach O. Be fun.
He's too cartoon character.
That'd be fun. God rest his soul. Mike Leach would be incredible. Especially, you'd get him like, Coach, what is happening on this play? And he'd give you the most incredible, detailed breakdown of it, and then he would immediately change it to do a story about how you found a raccoon in his backyard one time.
Yeah. A few votes for Spurrier. I think he might be getting up there in age a little bit. Not as sharp as he used to be.
Yeah. See, Moorhead, somebody mentions him, as far as like breaking down X's and O's, unbelievably good. And he's a funny guy. He would be good on a show like this.
As the portal turns, we will get to your portal update after the new Sports Talk Mississippi. Stick with us.
Sports Talk Mississippi is back.
This is it.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Borkey and Hadad, Sports Talk Mississippi. It's hour 3. You know what time it is. It's the college football fix.
No.
Another corrupted file?
No. You got to download a new one today. Today. Not tomorrow. Not after breakfast. Today. Just download it.
What the heck happened here?
I can't. I will not do this show tomorrow if that music isn't on this show.
Listen to that. It's all of them.
Get rid of it. Delete.
What a shame.
Delete. Anyway, the College Football Fix is presented by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Tough. The Ford F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, and it's that for a reason. It's never been corrupted. I promise you that. So head to your Mississippi Ford dealers today. Take a test drive. You'll see. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yes, we will not be going one step further on this show. You need to go ahead and just download a new file. I'll send it to you if you want. I can get it. I'll get it here from the studio, and we will have that music back on the show tomorrow. I promise you that.
I mean, I can use other means. I just wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. All right,
portal update. Start with state while I figure out what's going on in here.
Yeah, just one to add for today's class, but a big one both literally and figuratively for Mississippi State. North Carolina offensive lineman Miles McVay. Oh, he's not listed on. Oh, come on, guys. That hurts. I'm looking on 1-3. They don't have him on the list yet. I don't have the. Yeah. Anyway, Miles McVay, offensive lineman, University of North Carolina. I would tell you that Mississippi State would probably expect him to compete for that right tackle job in the spring, and hopefully he could be your starter there. I think the best case scenario for State is McVay wins that job. You can move Blake Steen inside to play guard. You've got L.J. Chester from LSU as your center. You got L.J. It just occurred to me they could have two LJs on the offensive line, but L.J. Prudhomme from Arkansas, or possibly Flapjack Owens, but he needs to improve quite a bit. Left tackle is still where they're looking, and they need to find a guy there. Otherwise, it's going to end up being Javen James again, who, when you look at James, he didn't play very well, but we're talking about a guy who had never gotten a lot of playing time, who came to Mississippi State without benefit of spring practice. I don't think State fans were expecting him to play much last year. He got thrown into it with the injuries. Maybe a year he could be better. I think that's something that we forget in this transfer portal era. We're willing to move guys in and out so quickly. Sometimes players stay and they get better year after year. That's how it used to be. And it could still be that way in some ways. So State's, like I said, though, still looking for a left tackle, but McVay is a really good addition for them.
So there you go. Still some work to be done. There's a couple of weekends left. We have to say this a lot because I keep getting asked about it. The portal closes tomorrow at 11:59 and 59 seconds. Mm-hmm. So when it closes. PM, not AM.
And once again,
it doesn't mean you're done adding players.
Right.
It just means if a player is not in the portal at that point, then they are still on your team. There will be, this weekend there's going to be visits at State and at Ole Miss. Next week there will be throughout the week and into the weekend. And because here in Mississippi we have a late start to the semester for colleges, I do think that helps benefit Ole Miss and State. They can add the drop dead date, the add drop date for classes is later than most schools. Mm-hmm. So some of the hangers on that they might want to add can consider them. We got Cole Kublik coming up next, but here's the Ole Miss side of the update. As we talked about earlier in the show, TJ Daugherty in the portal, apparently visiting LSU. Significant raise incoming for him. At least that's what his people are saying. And despite being pretty vocal anti-Kiffin, money can fix.
Money talks.
Can mend fences. In terms of incoming players, Ole Miss needed to add at wide receiver. They added two last night. Madison Central's own Isaiah Spencer from Virginia Tech by way of Jackson State initially. Has signed on with Ole Miss. He's a big-bodied receiver, 6'2", big guy. Did not put up great numbers this year on a really bad Virginia Tech team. Caught over 600 yards worth of passes in 2024. I don't know much about him. I know that he's got the size at receiver that they are looking for. It's hard to judge based on Virginia Tech being pathetic, especially at the quarterback position. We shall see. Somebody that has a little bit more known about him is Darrell Gill. He's also a big-bodied receiver. He's 6'3". Played at Syracuse this year. The advanced stats, by the way, say for this year, among his targets, 48% of his targets were deemed catchable. That's because remember, Angeli got hurt in the Clemson game.
Yeah.
And Syracuse fell off a cliff. Because they didn't have anybody that could throw the ball. So, yeah, fewer than half of his targets were balls that were thrown in the vicinity enough to make them a catchable pass. That's how bad.
That's pretty tough.
But over 600 yards worth of receptions for him. Ohio State and Oregon were involved in his recruiting, but apparently the sales pitch, including, of course, the price was right for Darrell Gill to end up at Ole Miss. It's been long talked about that he was going to be there, but Oregon and Ohio State jumped in. So delayed that announcement, and they get him today. Again, the big-bodied receiver from Syracuse. I think in terms of getting starters, they are done at the position, unless for whatever reason Caden Lee decides to go elsewhere. I think then they would be in the market again for a receiver.
All right. So I have a question then, and it's going to go back to something we kind of joked about during the regular season, right? But Deuce Alexander back.
Deuce Alexander back.
He's back, all right. And then you bring in these two guys. Mm-hmm. Caden Lee likely to stay, would you say?
He's gotten some big offers. I don't think he's leaving, but again, who knows, man? I mean, in the portal era, you get the right price and poof, gone.
Why is Caleb Cunningham staying?
Apparently, he's expecting to have a role on this year's team.
I mean, you say that, and then you go out and you get two receivers like that.
Not every player just wants to bolt. Some players
I get
where
that,
they are,
but most players want to play. And like when I look at that Ole Miss depth chart, and I look with Ole Miss, State's the same way, right? You play like four receivers. Like this isn't the air raid where you got to get 7 or 8 guys getting 30-plus catches. This is, 3 or 4 guys are going to get the bulk of the work.
He expects a bigger role.
All right, we shall see. And I'm not even talking about coming to state. I'm just talking about surprised he hasn't looked at getting out and looking around a little bit.
It was clear there was a lot of growth that needed to be done before he got on the field. Just as a football player, especially in that receiver room. But if it doesn't happen this year, then he'll go. But the expectation is that he will have a role on this offense. So we shall see.
We shall see.
I do not know. Any word on Lee? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know where things stand. I know he got really significant offers. As I was told, it was communicated that he didn't necessarily want to leave, but sometimes, man, when you get there's sticker shock sometimes with some of these offers that you've got to come down from before you make a decision. So I do not know. I simply do not know where things stand. But he is not yet in the portal. That's all I got for you. I wish I knew more. I do like how transparent all this is now, though. Truly, I do. I mean, I'm not being sarcastic. He's not in the portal, but yet he's got to consider other offers. That's how it is. That's how it works. So just talk about it openly.
I think State is very safe in terms of, I don't think anybody's going in this last few days. Is there anybody else from Ole Miss that you would be concerned about?
Caden Lee.
Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, they've signed everybody else. Deshaun Womack hit the portal today. That's not surprising. They didn't re-sign him. Auburn's going to pay him a good bit, and he's Cam Franklin's backup. You're not paying Cam Franklin's backup Cam Franklin money. You're just not. So, there's only so much money to go around. You can't keep your starters and your backups at a premium price. You just can't.
Somebody says on the text line, all this just holds in the balance if Chambliss comes back. But not really, because the portal closes on
tomorrow night.
Chambliss's decision won't be made for a long time after that. So,
which makes it's weird.
But if you're an Ole Miss player and you're like, gosh, if Chambliss doesn't come back, we might not be very good. I should leave. But you got 24 hours to make that decision. There's no dragging it out.
No dragging it out. Who will return kicks next year? I don't know.
Who returns kicks at all?
Nobody.
Who's still returning kicks?
I mean, I don't think Ole Miss returned a punt.
Yeah.
That's a little hyperbolic, but they did not return punts, man. It just
State
fair
returned
catch,
a bunch of punts when they played Alcorn, because Alcorn didn't have a guy who could punt, really.
Yeah.
But beyond that, there's a lot of fair catching going on.
And everybody just kicking it through the end zone these days, too.
Yeah.
Does Ole Miss have the number 2 portal class so far? Yes. When if Trinidad doesn't declare, then gets denied, they'll keep fighting it legally as long as they can. But there's other avenues to get into the NFL if your efforts have been exhausted.
Yeah.
You don't have, obviously not ideal. You don't have to get drafted to play in the NFL. So I guess that would be what it is. Cole Kubelik on the Farm Bureau guest line when we come back.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Is that a no?
He's ghosting us.
That guy.
He's ghosting us.
When guests appear on the show, they do it on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. But when guests don't appear on the show, we'll see. He'll call back, hopefully.
There's an unfortunate point being made on the text line right now.
I saw it.
Texas,
I know that Texas returns punts.
Okay. They
but, I mean, even in that was a poorly executed punt. Like, he way outkicked the coverage. He should have been trying to angle it to the sidelines, and if you do that, there is no return. So, the thing that I talked about with Alcorn, where the guy was just booming it out of there and just didn't really care about hang time or anything, same thing happened there.
Yeah. Good question here. It says, genuine question. I don't know much about the kid. Are we just assuming there's a huge drop-off from Chambliss to Deuce Knight? From a raw talent ceiling perspective, no. I have a feeling Ole Miss coaches would argue that from a raw talent perspective, there's not a drop-off at all. The lack of experience is the big difference. You just don't know. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks are super raw talented, and then once it becomes their time, they don't put it together. It doesn't work out. He's got one start in his career, and it was against Mercer. Now, he lit them up, but it was against Mercer. The drop-off in experience is so... It's a vast gap between the two of them and what you know about them right now.
Well, by that same token, Chambliss was playing D2 football. If nothing else, Deuce Knight has been playing in the SEC, practicing against SEC players. So,
although getting coached by Hugh Freeze, that knocks.
I mean, I get it. But, I mean, my point is, though, nobody could have expected Chambliss. Nobody thought Chambliss would be what he was, right? If you came out and Deuce Knight was an overnight success, I don't think anybody would be super surprised by it. This guy was a huge recruit a year ago. And so, the potential is there for him to be a tremendous player for Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. Somebody says, seems like Chambliss really thinks fast. Yeah, that his biggest strength is not his athletic ability. It's not accuracy throwing the football. It's mentally, man. He is very good at the mental side of the game. It seems like he processes quickly, makes quick decisions, and doesn't make the incorrect decision very often. I mean, he did have, 2 interceptions this year, 3? Probably should have thrown a bunch in the semifinal game. But generally speaking, his biggest strength is he does not make mistakes, very smart with the football, and poise also. I mean, my gosh, in the playoff games, in the 2 that were not in your home stadium against Tulane, in the fourth quarter, he was in the second half / fourth quarter, he was spectacular. Like when the game mattered most, when there was the most pressure on him, is when he performed the best. He's got the mental makeup, I think, anyway, of a guy that can, that's his biggest strength.
Yeah.
For sure. There's some limitations with him physically, but you make up for him when mentally you're as strong as he is.
Yes. And somebody made a point on the text line talking about, how the season for Ole Miss, the season that Ole Miss had came as a result of Chambliss being there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It got me thinking, if Simmons doesn't get banged up in the Kentucky game, what is Ole Miss this year?
They lose at least 4 games.
They lost to Georgia, so we'll just keep that on the list, right? Did they lose to LSU?
They lose to Arkansas in week 3. Chambliss was perfect
I
that night.
I get that, but Arkansas didn't win a single conference game. I got to believe that Simmons could have put points on the board.
They gave up 35 points. And if not for a fumble on the...
Simmons would have put up points. I'm not going there. I won't go that far.
They lose to LSU.
They lose to LSU. They lose to Georgia. They
lose to Oklahoma.
And then Florida. If everything else plays out the same,
they might lose to South Carolina, man. Although Trinidad didn't play well that night, so you're talking about a ball rolling down the hill.
Really good in that game.
They were.
Florida's the one that would stand out to me. And honestly, I know the 19 points, but Chambliss was so good in the Egg Bowl. He could not
awesome
stop missing, could stop hitting his receivers. State played a large role in that with their defense, but 4 is probably 9-3. Which what's funny is 9-3. If Simmons plays the whole year and the Ole Miss goes 9-3, we're like great season.
They did well.
They did well. First year, as first year starter, replacing Dart and all those guys on defense. They won 9 games. Future's bright at Ole Miss.
Larry says, "What the heck are y'all smoking? Ole Miss wasn't going to lose 4 games." I'm, with all due respect to the player who's got a high ceiling, Austin Simmons did not protect the football against Georgia State and Kentucky. How could you possibly be confident that he would suddenly learn how to protect the ball against LSU and Oklahoma and win those games? Yeah. I'm sorry, I cannot get there. He did not show you anything that said he would start magically protecting the football better and would win the games the same way that they did with Trinidad.
It's a very fair thought exercise.
Somebody says they lose at least 4 games means Ole Miss isn't here to stay. They were the product of catching lightning in a bottle, not being a top-tier program. Quarterback play dictates every single team in the country.
Not only that, I'm going to disagree with that because Simmons in his first year as a starter, had he gone 8-4, nobody is going to sit there and say, well, that's, he's terrible.
And the program sucks too.
Right. Like it would have just been like, hey, they lost Dart. And they lost some key pieces on offense.
The most draft picks they ever lost in the history of the school.
They lost a ton of defensive guys. This was always going to be a year where they had to bounce back. That's what made Ole Miss's season so special, is that nobody saw this coming.
Somebody says if 8-4, is Lane still there? No, it would have made the breakup a lot easier for him.
Yeah. But would he be at LSU?
Yeah.
You think? Mm-hmm. I mean, in that scenario, LSU has beaten Ole Miss. Is their season different? Does their season keep going the same?
Probably not, right? Nussmeier was hurt, and
I don't know. But I mean, they would have. I mean, they might have been the number 1 team in the nation had they beaten Ole Miss. So I don't know.
He leaves though. He leaves, and the breakup's
Marty
not messy.
Says Lane goes to Florida, so maybe it is a little different. I don't know.
Maybe, but what made it messy was the fact that the team was good, and he left him anyway, and acted like a clown on the way out the door.
Yeah.
An 8-4 season, and none of that even happens, and everybody still thinks he's reformed.
Right.
Gosh.
The butterfly effects are real things,
I bet he regrets beating Oklahoma. He could easily just lose that game and
just move on, yeah.
Just move on. Oh, man. Somebody asked us, though, seriously, with the basketball gambling scandal, does that make you worry about elements of football games? You would be insane to not watch some football games and wonder. Mm-hmm. And maybe it has never happened and it's impossible or whatever, but you had, 17 college basketball programs have players get indicted today?
Yeah.
You can't look at that and think, that's not happening in football.
No, you have to have skepticism. That's about everything these days. I'm skeptical about everything. I don't believe in anybody.
Especially the professional leagues, man. I am skeptical of the professional leagues more than I ever have been before.
Yeah, I get it. I understand why.
Because you watch how well NFL games are officiated until they're not.
Yeah. When it's bad, it's like so noticeable. You're like...
Because those guys are really good.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. That's their, they're out there all the time, so...
Somebody says, I know it was 1 game, but 6 touchdowns against Mercer is exactly what Deuce needed to do. Simmons struggled against Georgia State. Easy upgrade. Well, not needed, but expected to do. Yeah, I mean, his ceiling is incredibly high.
Deuce Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very much so.
But he did play Mercer.
What I would say right now is Deuce Knight is a great athlete, and he needs to learn how to become a better quarterback.
But how do we know?
I'm
just
saying,
what I mean?
Based on people I've talked to down in the Auburn world. They also the athleticism is off the charts, but can he make all of the throws yet? No, he can't.
That's why he's comfortable not starting.
I would say that
Needs
as a passer, Kamario Taylor's a little more polished than Deuce Knight. And Kamario is still raw. He's still got some learning to do. Yes, that's what I think, yes.
How do we know?
Again, I'm just telling you from people I've talked to. And I've seen Kamario Taylor play enough to tell you that he's he's got some work to do. I mean, we saw it in the Egg Bowl. But I think he's ahead of Deuce Knight at this point in his career. Got more reps. I mean, that starts there. Do I talk to Cohen? No. Spoke to him at Media Days this year. That was about it.
Miss Chambliss for sure coming back. Not for sure.
It's not for sure yet.
They think they have a really good case, though. And we'll see. I hate that answer, but that is the answer. We'll see.
Yeah.
Guests appear on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. That was Cole Kubelik on the Farm Bureau guest line. Really good insight there from him on the national championship game and some other things. We'll get back to the football discussion when we come back.
From the Seabrook Sports Talk, Mississippi.
Boom!
Are you ready for some football?
On Super Talk, Mississippi.
We're in the Pearl River Resort studio, and I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. We got this question on the text line from Chris. It's a good question. We talked earlier that the Egg Bowl is going to be on Black Friday again. You can probably get comfortable with that time slot, ladies and gentlemen. But Chris asks, the Egg Bowl televised on Thanksgiving night was awesome. It followed traditional NFL games, so I figured it turned out high ratings. Are the ratings better on Black Friday, or was that a contract they couldn't afford to keep? So here's what happened with the Thanksgiving Egg Bowl, Chris. Back in the day, the NFL only had 2 Thanksgiving games. And the night slot was kind of open for a college football game to slip in there and draw really well. The NFL added a 3rd Thanksgiving game.
Right.
And ESPN has decided, because you can see what they replaced the Egg Bowl with, ESPN has decided, we really can't compete with them. It's not worth putting a name game on Thanksgiving night. The Egg Bowl ratings were worse than regular season games with Ole Miss and Kentucky, for example. The Egg Bowl will do under 2 million viewers on Thanksgiving because of the NFL. The move to Black Friday was exceptionally good for ratings. If you care about that kind of thing, some of you don't, but if you care, this is what had to be done to maximize exposure. The NFL going to another Thanksgiving game destroyed college football on Thanksgiving. Now they're putting, who was it this year? Memphis and somebody on Thanksgiving night? Wasn't that who it was? That's the kind of game you're going to get now.
Memphis Tulane, wasn't it?
Something like that.
So just pulling them up here. The Egg Bowl 2023, that's the last one that was on Thanksgiving night in Starkville. 2.29 million viewers. This year's Egg Bowl. Now, granted, the Kiffin stuff played into that a little bit, right? But it's almost double. It's 5.2 million viewers. And if you look, if you're the SEC and you want to keep the TV money flowing in, you got to give yourself every possible opportunity to get big numbers, and that's what putting this game on Black Friday does.
For sure. And opinions on both sides, traditional that the game has traditionally been played a lot more on the last Saturday of the year than on Thanksgiving.
Traditionally, yes.
Traditions do have to start from day one, though. Tradition starts somewhere. Ask Texas A&M. Their tradition, the little weird leg hike thing, is because one of the yell leaders back in the 30s or whatever had pants that were too long and kept having to hike them up, and then they do it all the time, forever.
Yeah. That's how tradition starts.
Larry with a good question. How do they know the number of viewers? They have a formula. They use they have tracking boxes and use sample size and stuff. It's not an exact science, but they're really good at tracking those kind of things.
It's a very inexact science, but they're pretty close on all that stuff.
They're really good at that, for sure. One day when everything is streaming, you'll get a very specific exact number. Some
breaking news here that you will certainly be a fan of. U.S. District Court Judge William Campbell has denied the preliminary injunction in the appeal on, I don't know who Patterson is, but it was a huge blow for pleading for the 5th year of eligibility. This will limit copycat lawsuits, a massive win for the NCAA.
Yeah, that is a lawsuit that features multiple players basically just saying you should give us a 5th year because.
Yeah.
They didn't argue medical hardship or anything.
I'm not trying to connect it to the Chambliss thing. I'm just saying the JUCO rule looks like it's going to be a 1-year deal.
Well, these aren't JUCO guys, are they? It's just straight up.
Is it not related to the Pavia thing? Is that what? Am I misreading this? Okay, sure. This is a different tweet. This is the same judge who granted Pavia his injunction. Is now very mindful of how the appeal eligibility case has gone. It's not a total win for the NCAA. It's the plaintiffs haven't shown enough yet. Okay. Well. Yeah,
that is, the NCAA does need to win some of that, though. They do. I mean, if you can just blanket sue for as many years as you want without any reason other than because I want to, that's not good.
Yeah.
That is not good at all. They argued that the 4-year eligibility thing was a violation of the American antitrust law. And that judge thinks, they can enforce that rule. They can cap how many years you can play in that regard. It's a good thing.
Yeah,
ultimately.
I agree.
That the era of the 7th-year senior needs to go away.
Yeah, and I know a lot of this has to do with they gave everybody 2 extra years for COVID and all that, but it is way too much right now.
Or the college football playoff Ole Miss ratings. Ole Miss Georgia did over 18 million. Ole Miss Miami did over 16 million, which was not a great number. Indiana, Oregon did better.
Yeah. Thursday
late too.
Thursday late. I mean, it's tough. There
wasn't an NFL game that night, was there? No, that was after.
No, 'cause the playoffs were on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was after that.
Yeah.
All right. A complete pivot, but I like this question from Jay. Joe Healy of D1 Baseball seems to think the Diamond Dogs offense will be strong enough that the pitching staff just needs to be good versus great. Are you confident that they have the arms to lead them to Omaha in 26?
Jay in Baltimore is a baseball fiend. Every week in the rumblings, baseball questions.
Love it.
Doesn't matter. Football going on, doesn't care. And if you want to hear that interview that I did with Joe Healy, it's available on the Thunder and Lightning podcast feed. Joe, I had him on because he said that on the D1 podcast he had state number 1 in his preseason poll. So I wanted to know why. And he is the first guy that I've talked to. And I've talked to a lot of people at Mississippi State baseball over the last month or so that went to pitching. Like almost everybody talks to me about, State has so many options in the lineup, and they have Ace Reese and Noah Sullivan. Aiden Teal is going to be a star for them. James Nunnally is going to be a star for them. They've got all this power. He was the first one to say pitching. And I am not a scout or anything, so projecting arm talent isn't necessarily my cup of tea. But State has got a lot of that on this roster. They don't have the guarantee pencil him in on Friday night guy just yet. There's no Ethan Small. There's no Will Bednar. Not that Bednar was a Friday night guy, but there's not a guy like that on this team right now. But there should be. And they just have so many guys they can throw at you. And that's what made the 21 team work, right, was that they had, 9, 10, 11 guys who threw 95 plus. And so they could just keep throwing arms at you. And then on Sunday, you put Houston Harding out there, and it was a completely different look. State has a roster like that this year where they just have a bunch of guys who can throw the ball really hard. So I don't know the answer to that question, though, because, like I said, it's a lot of unproven guys. The kid from Virginia, Valinkis, is probably the most proven starter of the group, and he's just a sophomore. So, my thoughts with Mississippi State, why I think they're going to be good, is because I think they're going to be able to hit the ball on just about everybody. If their pitching matches that, they're going to be really, really tough to beat.
29 days away, right?
That sounds right, yeah.
Somebody says they need to put bleachers behind the lofts in left field. Behind them?
Like, are you talking about they'd have to be?
That's what he said.
500 feet
no,
in the
in
air.
right field behind the lofts is what he said. Bleachers in right field behind the lofts. I thought he said left. I was just reading something that I wanted to see as opposed to what I actually saw.
But the lofts are in left field.
Yes, so
there are no lofts in right field.
Yeah, that's what threw me off. But there has been some displeasure about the new setup in the outfields that I've seen. Hey, Dad, and
yeah, but that's just people who are like, I don't want to change. Like, it had to change. I know we talked about it yesterday on the show, or I think we did. Somebody mentioned on the text line. That's the most undervalued piece of real estate in the SEC. Like, I think I could be wrong. I think it's like $4,000 a year to have a left field lounge spot. You could charge $20,000, and you'd sell them all. No,
how many people are ticketed with each one?
Oh, I have no idea. No idea how that works. I'm sure it's like somebody owns it, but we're a group, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all put money in together.
So that's why I'm asking.
You could charge 5 times the amount you're charging right now, and they probably are going to end up doing something like that.
Yeah,
because it's so. I mean, in this NIL era, you got to maximize every dollar.
And it sucks. Don't get us wrong. It sucks that you have to pay a whole lot more for everything.
That's one though where I would agree. I'd be like, they are getting an incredibly cheap ticket.
Mm-hmm.
To sit out in like the premier spot in college baseball. You got to get your money's worth on that one.
(601-879-4395), the C Spire text line. 601-879-4395.
Another day, another dollar here on Sports Talk Mississippi. Belk Ford, I think we mentioned it earlier. That's the place where I bought my car, and it's the place where you should go look for your next one as well. A great buying experience, people who are friendly, knowledgeable, and they're going to get into the car that you want. Whatever it is you're looking for, they have a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Check them out, belkford.com, oxfordtoyota.com. Get yourself a great car today at Belk Ford and Oxford Toyota. It's worth the drive to Oxford to shop at Belk Ford and Oxford Toyota. We'll wrap it up with you on a Thursday when we come back. Brian Hadad, Michael Borkey. This is Sports Talk Mississippi.
From the Venable
Sports Talk Mississippi, your new home for exclusive sports coverage here in the Magnolia State.
Let me put it to you this way.
Right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Breaking news. Ole Miss star edge Princewell Umamiela plans to enter the transfer portal.
Wow, that's a
big one for y'all. You said earlier who you weren't expecting any more.
No,
that one got you.
That one.
Oh man, that's a big one.
Wow. He did post on Instagram and deleted it that the money yesterday isn't the money today or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is a big one. That's a big loss. He was really good by the end of this past season.
It was a monster for Ole Miss towards the end there. Yeah. Wow.
LSU.
But I would like to say thank you, Princewell, for one thing. You got it in before 6. We
Yeah.
appreciate you letting us talk about that.
So he signed with Ole Miss too. So somebody is willing to pay a significant buyout.
Or
no, somebody's willing to pay a buyout.
Or
somebody's willing to pay a buyout.
Allow me to finish. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. Are we sure the Ole Miss contracts are drawn up the same way as the Big Ten ones?
You're asking a question that I already answered.
Okay. Well, then somebody's willing to pay a buyout. Do you know what that buyout is?
I think I know where he's going.
LSU?
I think so.
So do you know what the dollar amount is?
I will try to find out.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to ask another. I guess I'm going to ask this question again, and now you're going to have to. You're going to have to project. Who is somebody that Ole Miss could lose in the next 24 hours?
No idea. Could I can tell you who he's going to continue to go after?
T1.
Yeah.
I'll just say this: if you're willing to pay buyouts, that's the guy to go get. That is the guy to go get. I would be putting the full court press on. I'm sure it's big. I'm sure it's big, but this is LSU. They got money.
Yeah, they do.
And look,
that is a big loss. He was good by the end of this year.
Kiffin coming in, he got some promises made of like, yes, we will have the money for whatever you want to do.
That is a big one.
So yeah, just popped on Twitter 5 minutes ago. Goodness gracious.
That is crazy. We will have a lot more details about this tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you still have Caden Lee unsigned.
What closes tonight?
Tomorrow night. So, although the talk with Lee's been Georgia.
Well, I'm not even talking about like where he would go. I'm just talking about if he would go. We talked about like the butterfly effect of if Chambliss is denied, would Lacey want to leave? And we're like, the timing doesn't really work on that. It becomes the other way, doesn't it? If Lacey and Caden Lee decide to go, does Chambliss say, I don't really have the same team around me at this point. Maybe I should just go ahead and go to the NFL?
He's getting $6 million.
A ton of money. I understand that.
You're not putting that to bed.
He would just need somebody to give him 3, and he'd feel better about it. But
Larry says Ole Miss will be all right. But, one player doesn't change the outlook of a team, but, man, that is a really good player at a position that is at a premium. You've got a couple of edges coming in to visit this weekend, but bird in the hand, 2 in the bush, you know that this guy can produce and play well for you. You know that. He's done it. There's only so many players leaving that you can spin. There's only so many. This is one that you can't.
Right.
It's not like Daugherty where there's questions about his ability to be a good player. This guy's a good player.
A good football player. It will be tough to replace him at this point in the portal, but we'll see. Kiffin is a better fit greasy-wise than Will Wade was. Perfect. They're clamoring for that, by the way, down at LSU. But the return of Will Wade.
I mean, you can hate Lane Kiffin, and you should if you're an Ole Miss fan. But he's playing by the rules that don't exist.
Yeah, there are no rules. What rules?
I mean, truly, and it'll anger people, but why should he give up on really good players that he coached previously?
I mean, his job is to coach LSU and win championships there now. So you got to do whatever you got to do. If the situation was reversed and he was coming from LSU to Ole Miss fans would demand that he got their players.
And now, I haven't heard or been able to confirm the rumors about, some of these player deals getting distributed within the team, and that being an intentional act. But now that kind of, I don't know if it's true or not, but man.
Do you think that Kiffin set this up to hey, go last minute, go in the last couple of days?
There's a 100% chance that if Prince William ends up at LSU, that was
the setup.
That is a big, big loss. I mean, maybe they can get him out of there, but that is a big, big loss for Ole Miss. You can't spin that one. You can spin Daugherty, and it's justified.
Yeah,
you can't spin that one. Duke can play.
We'll talk more about it tomorrow, along with anything else coming up in the portal. Plus, big preview: Mississippi State Ole Miss basketball at the Humphrey Coliseum. 3:00 tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Incredible! A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.